Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world away. It's no secret what I'm doing today, isn't it? The next 6 stages of the Fanhome release and build the Spider-Man Iron Spider Armor.
Swinging high above the streets at night, iron glints in moonsoft light, spider threads laced with steel, in his suit he feels ideal.
So this build is literally running away with me because today we are going to start the leg. As a matter of fact, I've already done it. This is what we're actually building today and I'm going to show you how we build that. Pretty good. Really enjoyed today's build. If you want to get this for yourself, I have put a link in the video description and you've also got the QR code on the screen. But without further ado, let's get cracking. Stage 57. Here's the instructions. The shoulder connectors and right leg. So we do have some connectors here. We've got a cardboard support. What's that for? So we're going to be putting this together, putting these into the shoulder areas there, and then clipping this onto the back of the Iron Spider. So we're still working on that. Then I'm creating some sort of jig, is that? And then I'm creating this here. Wow, this looks a bit involved. Okay, that shocked me. I thought it was not much to do this month. Okay, so here is stage 57. And this little bit of cardboard, which I thought was just to, you know, stop things getting broken, is actually something we're going to need. In fact, the first thing I do need is this section here where we've got lots of square holes, which are going to have, I'm believing, these square nuts. Now there is 4 of these to put in. And look at this. I can never normally get these in first time, but they've gone in first time. Now I want the left brace. It's got a big L on it, so I know this is the left one, and that's going to go over the top just like that. And I'm holding it in with a screw. That's a type E screw. And I've got that here. Let's screw that in. Perfect. So there you go. That's one complete unit. Guess what? Because we've done one, we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. So again, drop the nuts in. Put the brace over the top. And then an E screw to put that together. Okay, so this is the left side of Spider-Man, looking just like that. Hopefully you can see this. We're going to be putting the left connector into place, and we want the cables to be coming out of the top. So when I put this in, which I've just lined up there, you see the cables are coming out the top here. I'm holding these in with G screws. These screws have got a little flange on them, and we're going to need 4 of these. Perfect. And then turn this over and do exactly the same thing on the other side. Wires at the top. That goes in there. And again, it's the G screws. That's the last one just going in there. Perfect. I can put this to one side and bring over this cardboard piece now. So I'm guessing we're making this like a box. So we're going to be putting the flaps out here and this side and then folding down the sides. So we are making a box here. Do the same. Let's have a think about this on the other side here. Perfect. And then we're just going to fold down these sides. That's good. And then I'm guessing we're just putting the middles in just like that. And now we've got that, I believe because of this section, we can actually lie our Iron Spider down so it's quite flat in there, just like that. So that's how the box is being used. Okay, I'm going to put the Iron Spider to one side, and I'm bringing over this part here, which is solid metal. This is the sole of the foot, and I do have this. Is it this or is it this? It's this. I want this to put into place on top of this section here, which I'm just trying to get me bearings of where that goes. By the look of it, it's going in the middle one, just like that. Now on top of that, I've got a circuit board to put in. Now, look at this. We have got an induction loop there or something. Is this for power? I don't know. No idea. But I do also have a lead that I'm going to need to plug into this. So let's just take this off, plug that into there, And then this is going to be sitting this way round into that section just like that. And then on top of it, I am going to be taking this piece here. That's just going to fit over the top this way round. So it's clamping that wire in just there, and I'm holding that in with F screws. Now these are the silver screws because obviously it is metal. So one there and one on the other side. That's that little bit of the sole done. Perfect, put that to one side. Last sections are just these two parts here. These are going to be going together. This is going to go on like that. And this is held in with the E screws. Now this is the end of the foot. Okay, so now that's in place, I am in a position now to put this onto the foot. So it's actually going to go on this way here, pushing it in just like that. And that's going to be held in once again with the E screws. But I'm holding it in just to the back section here, because if my anatomy serves me correctly, the heel is on the back of the foot. So that's in just like that. That's all there is to do in that stage. Okay, so stage 58. Here's the instructions. And we've got the right leg now. So we are building up on that foot that we've just created to start the leg now. So that looks like that. Stage 58's got lots of metal parts. Obviously, I think because of the height and the weight of this model, that's why the whole support system is metal. Okay, so we need to put this into place. Now, there is a way that this needs to go. So if I'm holding the foot like that, this section, which has got the little knob coming out the side, is just going to fit on that way. So this is towards this side here. Okay, we're holding that in with some P screws. Now, these are hexagonal head screws. So we are going to need our wow stick. Have I got the right bit in? I haven't. Let me put the right bit in here. There we go. We'll get that all the way in. Should have really charged this, shouldn't I? Using an electric screwdriver, but manually because I didn't charge it. Okay, get this one in as well. Okay, once that's in, we're going to then put this metal shaft in. Now, this has got an arrow in it. As you can see, we want the arrow to be pointing up. So when I've got that in, the arrow is going to be pointing up here. Perfect. Now, again, with a cable, they're just saying make sure that's not pinched. It's not pinched. My cable is doing good. What I am going to do, though, is put the side now of this foot into place. So I'm guessing that means we're putting this section on now, which fits in perfectly just like that. And the way this works is on this side with the indents, we've got these caps here, which are M3 to, I'm guessing you could call them nuts. They're going to go in that side. Holding them with my fingers, because on the other side, over here, I've got these great big R2 screws, which are going to go all the way through, out the other side, so that they can screw into those nuts there. Perfect. And then I'll just tighten these up. And because they like to be difficult, these are actually the size that I had in originally. So they're not the same size. Okay. Perfect. So they're both in just like that. Then on the bottom here, I've got a little J screw, which is just going to secure this end in. Just lining everything up so I can get this in. And I'll get that nice and tight. So make sure that is in nice and tight. And with that in place, that's all there is to do in that stage. So stage 59. Here's the instructions. And again, continuing with the leg, putting all of these parts together just like this. And this is the rest of the magazine. That dot octopus there. And I'll get everything for stage 59 open. Okay, so once again on this one here, we've got a bracket to put in. Now this bracket needs to be in this way. And I'm just going to line up where this actually goes. It's actually going to be going on here just like that. So we can still see the two holes here. This is going to go into the hole just here. Now to put this in, we've got one of the large R screws, but this time we do have one of these crimped washers. So I'll put a crimp washer just on here. Put this all the way through. So it comes out the other side, just like that. And then in another bag, I've got a square washer, which will fit into this side and allow me to screw this into place. So we've got this piece now, bit of metal with an arrow pointed up. I want to put this in so that it's actually bending off towards the front of the foot here. So it's going in that direction. Again, I'm going to be putting some screws through here. So I've got these long ones, which go through here. These are Q screws. And then I've got some hex nuts, which I'm just looking for. That's here. They're going to be going out the other side. So one there. And one there. And again, make them nice and tight. Which of course means swapping out the end of my Allen head. That's one. And two. Bring over this part of the foot. And I have got a bit of trim that we're going to be putting in here. This is metal. It's just going to go over the top, just like that there. And then we're going to be piecing this together, keeping the wires out the way, just like this. So if you look on the top, it's fitting in the indent just there. It enables me to put a screw in here. So I need an E-screw. And I'm going to put the one E-screw just in the top here. That's going to hold the top part in. And what that's going to do is also going to line up all of these bottom ones now. So again, E-screws just through all the holes that we can see in these metal sections here. So one there. I think there's four. Yep, there's four. Because of the magnetism of my screwdriver, this one's a little bit hard to get in. But there we go, we got it. Perfect. So all four of those are in. And that is all there is to do in that stage. So stage 60. Here is the instructions. And again, more parts of the right leg here, piecing that together. So it is now looking like a foot and shin. Here's the rest of the magazine. And here is stage 60. Okay, and just like last time, we do have a little bit of trim that we're going to be putting into the inside of this section here. So this is actually going to be going on. Let me get this right. Whoops. Just like this. So the trim is sitting like that on the end. If that makes sense. Holding that in with an E-screw. I'll get that all the way through. And then we've got a great big metal plate to put in again, which is just going to be going, let's get this right. It's going to go in the position here on the bottom. So if I just place this in where it goes, just to give you an idea of how this is looking. That looks good. And we've got some E-screws again into the three holes that we've got. Let me put these in. One here. One here. And then just that last one there. Okay, perfect. So what we've got here, we're now going to attach to what we had done here. Now, I'm just going to figure out where this cable's going. I'm guessing that's going to be going up here. Not really helping me with that. So, yeah, I think it's going up like that. So I am keeping this out of the way. So when I put this in, I'm not pinching this cable. Excellent. And I've got peace of mind that that cable is now not trapped anywhere there. Okay, I need a J screw. They're going to hold in these ends here. I believe one of them might have had to be used on the other side, which I didn't do. So both of these should have J screws in at the side here. So let's get them in. So first one's in, put this one in as well. I need another J screw underneath the foot to hold this one in here. And we'll get that in nice and tight. Okay, that's looking good. Back to the E-screws now. I'm just going to line up the holes on the side here to get these in. So I'm going to do the top one first. screws through here. And then I've just got this middle one down the bottom, which is going to line up here. Perfect. And now that's in, looking pretty good. We do have a cover that we can put over the top of this, which looks just like this. That's going to hide those screw holes. So, and snap it in like that. Excellent. Then I've got the front section of the foot to put on. So we do have a tab here, which is going to go in the middle. That's going to line this up for us. Get that into place. And that goes in lovely and smooth like that. Once again, we're going to be putting a screw just through the hole at the front there. Now this is going to be an F screw. We are going into metal. Just there. Get that all the way in. I also need an E screw, which is just going to go into that section there. Perfect. And then finally I can hide those screws by putting the front section on here, which is going to clip in, as you heard. And there we go. I love how it hides all of the screw holes. That is all there is to do in that stage. So racing through with our foot, we got stage 61. Here's the magazine. We're still working on the right leg here. Looks like we're building this up, so it's looking like that. This is the rest of the magazine. Does that mean we've now moved into fire territory? I think it does. Okay, again, make sure the arrows are pointed upwards. This is just going to go into here like that. And then just like what we've been doing, I've got these long Q screws, which are going to go through the 2 points just here and here, as you can see. And they're held in with the M4 nuts from the other side. It's peculiar that it looks like it's going in the wrong direction. As you see, it's bending this way. But, well, I'm following the instructions, so that's what it tells me to do. That's what I'm doing. Okay, that's those in. I'll get them tight. And that's good. Okay, let's put that to one side. It looks like we're creating a knee now. So for that reason, I need this part here, and I've got a trim panel to put over the top of this. Getting the right one. It's this one here. It's going to fit in just like that. It's held in with E screws. So I'll get these in on both sides. Okay. Then I've got this panel here, which is going to go on top of this like that, which enables me to put another E screw just through the hole there. That's going to hold that bit of trim in. Definitely building up the knee here. And then what we're doing is on top of that, we've got another panel going in on top just like that. But this one's metal, so this is going to need an F screw through the 2 holes in the side here. Excellent. So that's how that's looking. Now I've got another little LED on a control board. So I've got a wire to put in for this. Now if I take this part of the inner frame here, I'm going to be putting this wire through here so that then this control board can sit in with the LED facing outwards into the slot just there. That's held in with an E screw. Nice. So that's how that looks. I then got this bit of trim with a lens to put in. So the lens is going to go in there, and that's going to fit in just like that. Actually just pushes in by the look of it. And then this is in a position to be put over the light that we just put in here. So let's get this right. It's actually going to go in like this. So that enables me to put an E screw in here to hold that into place. And then the lens is perfectly aligned with where that LED is underneath. Excellent. And then all I've got to do is another bit of trim going on top here, making sure that's going to fit flush just like that. And again, because this is metal, F screws to hold that into place. Perfect. So that's how that's looking. Now the part that we originally created, this is actually going this side of the knee. I'm just going to put it in a position where it's going on here, just like this, just over the lip here. and I'm holding that in with G screws. These are flange screws. So one in here. Perfect. Turn it over and put one in the other side. Making sure this lead's coming out of there, because I'm going to put this side on now. And in a similar way, I'm going to have the lead coming out the top. So putting that into position, make sure the lead's coming out, and it slots in like that. Once again, G screws to hold this in. So you can see how we're building this up. That's looking good. And then all of these cables you see are coming out the top. Then I want some E screws, and we're just holding these down through the holes just at the side here. So that's the black inner frame is now being held together by the E screws. That's the last one just going in there. And there we go. That is all there is to do in that stage. There was loads to do in today's pack, wasn't there? So, last stage, stage 62. Again, more parts for the right leg. Looks like we're putting a lot of the trim panels in now. So that's how it's going to look at the end. And there you go. So I think you can see, I don't think there's going to be that much to do in this one. And we've got this massive part here first, which is going to actually hide this section here. So this is basically the front shin. Put it in and it's going to be clipped into place just like that. That looks good. Okay. Then we've got some trim panels to put in. So I've got a long one first, which is going to go in here, this way round, in here. And I'm holding these in with E screws. We need 2 of these. I've also got this funny looking piece here with a number 2 on it, which is going to go in here. Pushing this in like that. Once again, E screw. 2 of these. Going to do exactly the same on the other side here. So we'll have one at the top with E screws. And then finally, just the one at the bottom here, which goes in like that. Okay, and then we've got these plates that are going to go over the top. So this one's going to go in here, just like that. This time I need an S screw, which is going to hold it in from this hole. Hold it in from this hole here. Wow, that's a tongue twister. Do the same on the other side. Hold it in from this hole here. Wow. Okay, another S screw. In here. And then the last screw I'm going to be putting in, it's got some magnets to put on. And I need some I screws. Now, we want to put the flat end of the magnet through the indented side here. So that looks like that. This is going to be a little bit tricky to get in. But I'm putting these on the back of this last plate that I've got here. So one in this side. And do the same on the other side. Which should then allow me to put this into place with magnets. Like that. And that is all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in that pack. There we go. The build is literally running away with me. That looks pretty cool, doesn't it? So what we've created there, and obviously what we created in the last pack, and now we've added some shoulder sections as well. Looking pretty good. Need to lay him down on his new bed that we've got as well. I really hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.